All right, art students, we are back. We are back. I am back with another action pose drawing, and I'm going to continue doing the female for a few more videos so that all you guys out there that wanted to draw better females will know how to do it. So, as I said in another video, the key to drawing a female body is drawing the letter K, drawing an open K. That is the entire body, basically, structure-wise. That way or this way as well. Yeah. So you have your hips, your narrow hips, your waist, and you will come down to do the legs. However you plan on doing the legs, chop the shoulder off like this. Just chip it off. These are going to be her delts right here, and the arms and the head, and make sure this is not so big and bulky, depending on the size of the female. So just remember that, and if you want to, if you're twisting it, you just give a little twist it this way, you know, a little curve that way. Make sure it's not like fat. See, to look pregnant. Take a little bit of the stomach out. You know, make the hips a little narrower. Hard word. And then you pretty much have your female. So that's the start. So let me do this position that I am thinking about. And I just lost the image in my head. But it's good to just go on like line and find female positions. Like look at some comic books or something, and then just try that using this K system for the body, whichever way there's twists. Usually if you have a twist, if the hips are twist or the shoulder going down, the hips are going to be opposite way. What's opposite? That way? Yeah, opposite way. It's just the way women are built. Is my camera going to blur? Maybe I need to pull back a little bit more. That's the reason for the yellow and blue. All right, so try this. Let's just go for it. Wanting to make it a little bigger, but want to see how big I can get it without going off the paper. So that's my K. Don't spit on your paper. Like that. So I'm going to have her, for this drawing, legs kind of wide, more of a hip thrust, hip twist. So once you get that, then you can go back to the standard torso drawing. And usually with the females, I don't do the tuna can. I just kind of like put the waist out a little bit to see where I'm going. So this is going down. This is going to have to go like this. I put the waist down below and kind of leave that open until I get this right, so I can slide it up and down. And maybe it's just my monitor, but that looks so blurred. Bad lighting. So it's going to go like this. Center line, you have to have that center line. And remember, as I said, this is a female, so this is not going to be wide like the males. Usually I'll do the oval, but if I'm doing a male, I'll try to make like the upside down egg. A lot of times it's just the oval, but it's a difference if you do that, and the female can be that way, reverse, and the way you can make the hips a little bigger, and you won't have to worry too much about having a big, wide, broad shoulders. So we're going to do this. I'm going to bring this down and out and have the crotch. So and usually if I do the female leg, I'll have the inside just straight down and then put a little bit of curve in it after I get it the way I want to get it. We'll see, but I'll show you as I get down to the legs. I'm still trying to figure out the position more or less. And if your shoulders if it seems too big, just make the head a little bigger, and that will narrow out the shoulders some more. Got to get some neck. Usually women always have neck. You see the neck unless you're doing an above shot. And the hands, for me, the hands and the feet will determine, the arms and the legs will determine which way I want her to look unless I actually know that it's a particular position I'm drawing for a particular reason. As in if it's a fight scene or if it's just, you know, something, just a nice little pose. So we're gonna do about these legs. It might be just a little tad split apart too much. Make that head just a tiny bit bigger. For the time being, I'll position her face looking that way. Shoulder slanted, which means this is going to be slanted, which it already is. So this is slanted, and that's going to be slanted that way. And if that's slanted, this is going to be slanted that way as well. So that belt, so let's do this. Let's cut out the home plate or the upside down house. Cut that out right now so I can see what I'm working with. And then this leg goes in and comes out. Make that a little longer. My chair is low. That is the problem. Well, my table is high. One of the two. Tilt it down just a bit. I lifted it up for filming something and forgot to put it back down. Keep the calves high and give her a longer, that part of the leg, a little longer. So that hip thrust is up and in. Now, I may change this. We'll see. Tilt that over more, so which means I have to move that head. And when I get too many lines, that's when I switch to my blue pencil on top of the red. And if that's too much, then I'll switch, or if I get too much blue, then I'll switch to a regular lead pencil. So it's good to use several different colors. So this, and then this, and that. Let's put some feet just to see which way she's gonna go. Center of the leg, come down, the way you know where the foot is. And a lot of times I will do this with the feet. I'll just put this little upside down U, this little horseshoe shape. And then I'll put my foot on after that, which is just basically half a triangle. And then come back and detail it out later. Now the foot coming down also determines how the plane of your ground is sitting. She couldn't be sitting on just straight ground like that. She kind of could, but it would have to go back like this because her feet are not flat on the ground like that. And I hate drawing on my final paper. So in other words, I could have put the foot flat like this, like that, to say that she's sitting on a flat plane. But because I pulled it out more and you can see more of the side and the top, that kind of tells you how your perspective for the rest of your drawing needs to be sitting. It's like drawing a cup. Yeah, you're busting into teacher mode now. Yeah, I know. Drawing a cup like this, and then trying to set it on a flat table like that, it wouldn't work. You'd have to have the table, some table going back somehow, because you're seeing the top inside of this cup, so you have to see the top of this table. So I couldn't do a table like this and do a cup like this, because the cup would be tipped over. So I'd have to have a glass table or something to that point where you can see underneath that cup like that. So however you place the foot tells you how much floor it's going to be resting on. So if I did this foot and it was flat like this, then that means that floor, you don't have much floor going back, because this is flat on that floor, you're looking kind of down, and this is like eye level. So everything else would kind of have to be up. If my eye level's down here, then this would have to be up. Your belt, you have to have that curve to it. The crotch would be like that. The legs would be there. So you're looking up. So however you put your feet, however you draw your feet, that's going to determine a lot of stuff. Also the belt too, but they could be tipped. They could be leaning forward or down or something. So that's a good indication of your background positioning. All right, let's get some more shape to her and see exactly how this is going to come out. For upside down heart, for the breasts, usually starting right here at the center of the neck is where I do my heart. I don't know why I put it around her neck, but let's go blue. And at this point, you know if you need to take some of your lats away. So I'm doing this upside down heart right there, and this is going to come up here just like the males. And the female breast is going to come just a little bit lower than the males, so I would probably bring it like down here. Whereas the males is right above the little tunnel. The females can actually come and kind of like hit it. And it also depends on the size of the breast. So just like the males is going to come up and go right into the delt, but you don't want so much muscle showing. So I'm going to slope this down and around and cut these delts down a little bit. And usually with the female arms, I like to kind of keep one piece. Versus the men's, I would draw this out and I would do this cylinder and do that. But I like to keep it sloping, slanting. And so because of that, I will bring this in a little bit more. Still going to be that curve because it's going to have that's still the rib cage. And it's going to go in and come out there and then come out at the leg, because the bone is like somewhere like, it's kind of like, how is that thing shaped? Let's just say like this. It's kind of shaped like this. So you're going to have that skin that comes in right here because you have your I can't talk. Your there, and then your rib cage, it should pop up somewhere down here. And then yeah, so this is all open right here, so this can get sucked in unless you're fat, unless your character's fat. So you're gonna have that bone that rides right here, the skin that rides over that bone here, and then come back out. I kind of wanted to thrust that hip out a little bit more, but I'm not going to because I don't want it to be too awkward. So getting back to the leg, I did a straight line, and then I just curved it in at the knee, curved it out, and curved back in. Curve it in a little bit here, a little bit there. Because this is tilted so much, this leg needs to be shorter than that leg. Somehow I lost the whole tilt. So I can just bring this leg down a little further. Because this leg is higher up in the air than this leg. Yeah, this hip is higher up in the air, so. Without making it too awkwardly long, unrealistically long. And at this point, I should take the time and say subscribe, subscribe. Because I always think about that at the very end. I need some good animation that goes across. It's like, subscribe. Working on that, though. Working on that. I'm going to get a nice little animated opening for my videos. Get into the professional world a little bit. I just have to figure out what I want to be seen as it goes across. I'm just looking at these legs. I don't want man legs. I kind of want more slim female legs. Which means you just take some of the lumps out. That's all. Just take the lumps out. Curve here. Come here. Might not be as fat. And then like that. So let's narrow those hips down a little bit more. More of the animation type shape, manga shape. Let's see, this needs to go in. If I want that kind of twist, I need to bring this in and back out, but no. And my camera is crooked. My camera is, you don't understand my camera. I have to turn it off and reposition my camera because it's tilted, and I'll explain that some other time. So let me do that now because it's just worse for editing when my camera's not turned right. All right, only took a second. And this one, something on here I'm not really liking. Maybe it's too high up, maybe this, and I'm gonna bring it down. So I may walk away from this one. It might be easier to erase all this top part than it is to do the legs. So I do actually want to bring it down. So let me do all that now. Not too much of a change as far as, but the height is a little lower now. And a little more narrower, which is good. And maybe I will slim the hips down with pencil. We'll see. All right, throw that head back on. Now I can have her looking down. I can have her looking this way. I said all the body, all this, it kind of determines which way she's gonna look. She could be looking at you saying like, ah, powerful. Could be looking this way. But I'm seeing a center line now, more of a center line like she's looking at you, us. Neck has got to be in that center line. Is where that Adam's apple comes, so which means I have to shift the head over a little bit more. Now I tilted her head now. She's got like a cocky kind of, when you tilt your head. And also, it looks like she might be looking this way now. So let's go blue real quick. Let's just do the details so that I can get back into the mode. Upside down heart right here under the chin is where the point comes. Depending on where the size of the breast again. So here is my collarbone here. Usually I'll make these more squarer, give them a square and not so much of a round. One's got to come up, this got to come up too. Keeping that in, keeping this in, bringing this down. Could bring this in a little bit more closer to the body, but that's good right there. And again, the head. Let's put it up. Let's just go straight up. I may have to pencil this because that's a lot of red lines. And the object of this is basically for me to teach you guys. I'm not trying to do like other channels where they do a finished picture. And to me, it's not really teaching you anything and showing you just look how good I can draw, you know, because, you know, I finished in, you know, under the guise of, let me show you how to draw something. It's like, let me show you I can draw something, not let me show you how you can learn to draw it. They give you good information, some of it, but to me, it's not really enough to say, oh, I learned something from this guy. Not enough to start drawing, especially if I'm new to the game. So bring these in a little bit more. This comes up. This is going to not go all the way up because remember it's going to turn at the little shoulder. Bring that shoulder in some. I'll bring that delt in some because this is going to be the actual, it's going to be like this, the actual rib cage. So the shoulder's going to be just out just a little. And going down into the arms. And a lot of times when I twist the body, I would always make that mistake. If this was the center line here, I would put my delts way out here. This one would always be right because it's covered. But this one, because you twisted the body, the delt is not out this far. The delt is going to come in a little bit because that body is twisted. And for the longest time, I'll do that. And sometimes I catch myself that I'm not doing it. So just I have to remember that. So same with this. This one was going to come into the body. As in rotating. I don't have my little man, so I can't really show you. A little drawing figure. He's up on the base where he belongs because I cleaned up my drawing room. So let's do some hands real quick. Real quick. That. So basically I take this square-ish and then I put another top on there. And then I put this thumb, and the thumb determines a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4. It kind of give me a quick hand. What did I do? Kind of like this. I start out with the square or the oval, however I throw my hand in it first. And then I'll put my thumb here. Then I can, this is going to be a really bad because I can just see I just lost that. And I'll put like a box. That's why I say do your shapes. So this is going to be a knuckle here, here, here. So this is going to go back, and your knuckles are up here. What am I talking about? That's the bends in your joints. Up here, 1, 2, 3, and then it comes down, 1, 2, 3, and it's going to come in because it's going to be a curve like this. And then your thumb is going to curve around here, and then you put your palm, one part of the palm is here, the other part of the palm is there, and then you have a quick, really ugly looking finger. But for those who are starting out, it's just doing this box. This goes, actually bends in here, that bends in. Your thumb can, especially if you're doing a small hand. And then this comes down. You got your other part of your palm here, and then you have your arm. And so all it is just that box, like that. So just practice that, just practice that. And if it's a small hand like this, you can, you can cover up your mistakes. Same thing here. I always put my thumb first. That way I know I'm got the right hand in the right spot. Above the thumb is that top of your box. And then the front of your box, split, you have those two lumps. And then your fingers, 1, 2, 3, are going to come across and bend there. And then you have basically a quick hand. And you just detail it. And the best thing to do is, if you have a mirror in front of you, which you all should always have a mirror on your drawing table, just look at your hand. Just look at your own hand and then just see, because you might have a slight bend in that where you don't see the top. You might have a lot where you see the top, as in this is the top. It might be twisted like that. Another good thing is take your cell phone and then position your hands and take pictures of them, and then just keep them on file. The more reference stuff you have, the better of an artist you become. So, because I did that when I was learning, I didn't have any models, and you get a few references in books, but it's not exactly what you want. So you just position yourself. You might not have a body like this, but just like when you turn your torso, that this comes in instead of staying out like I used to do. So it just helps having live or a real model. Because I'm going to do another, thinking about it, another video on the delts, because when we have toys, and this is why my videos get so long, when you have toys have the little balls right here, and then you have your arms that go up. But so people don't know how to do the motion in the delts, because toys don't have real delts. They don't have the collarbone that moves when you lift your arms up. So a lot of people don't know what that looks like. A lot of young artists don't know what that's like, because toys don't have that. So I'll do another video on that. I did one before, but it's an older one. And after a while, YouTube really just kind of like takes it off. It's floating around there somewhere, but it's just because you can only get so many on your website at one time. They start to not delete it, but they just kind of like push it into space somewhere. So you would have to actually know the name of that video in order to pull it up. So as far as a mess that I made, I think it's going to be it. And let me see if one of these pencils will actually do the job that I need. You might be able to see this. It's hard for me to see because of the glare these things make from my light. Fluorescent light actually shines off of these. Is a glare, put it that way. It's a glare from this pencil, meaning I can't see it. So here, you're gonna have a delt here, arm here, and I wanted to throw that hip out a little more, but no. So I'm going to bring this knee in a little bit more. Not really have those big, fat, Olympian runner legs. Get rid of some of this. This is probably what's throwing me off, the seeing right through the body. So that is a little better, and I can actually bring this in a little bit more. And bring this up. Much better. Still got big legs, but I mean, I can change that. This is where I play around and try to be perfect, and time just gets ate up. So I'm going to just kind of like finish it. And of course, this is going to go in my drawing book. So I'm going to ink it later. Okay, so the stomach. And unlike the males, I don't usually like add a lot of abs and unneeded muscle for the female body. Squeaky chair. And I just keep turning my head toward the monitor to see, because it's a different set of eyes when you look at it. It's just like if I turn it upside down, I'll see it differently, and I'll say, okay, this is off or this is wrong. Like I can see this could have been twisted, but I had her twist anyway. Different story. Turn it over for a few seconds, get it out of your head, turn it back over. You kind of see, you know, something that's kind of off, and then you can work on it. That's why I say walk away before you ink anything. If you think it's perfect and you're like, oh, it's so good, I'm gonna ink it now, just walk away from it for about 10 or 15 minutes and then come back. And then if it still looks so perfect, then you can ink it, but just don't start inking like right away. And yeah. And I always say knowledge is 70% and talent is 30. Because if you know why or how something is, it makes it a little easier to draw. The same way I showed you guys how to do the torso, the beetle. I notice a lot of people, they'll send me their drawings and I see the beetle that they did and they got the torso right because of that, because that bit of knowledge helps you no matter how badly you draw. If you know the knowledge of drawing something to make it a little easier, then makes your drawings better. So now I'm just nitpicking. So I'm going to do the major and then call this quits. Like the knees, you really won't see too much leg muscle for the female, especially if you're going to dress. If you're going to dress a female, then you know you don't have to worry so much about curves unless the dress is, the clothes are kind of skimpy, shall we say. You know, and when I was young, I love capes. So I put capes on there, and I put the cape like over the leg and over the hand, you know, just to cover up stuff that I had trouble drawing, especially hands. I would cover them bad boys up with that cape in a minute, or put them behind their back. It's like I would draw their feet in the tall grass, something that I can't think of what the image guy used to do all the time, because he couldn't draw feet, so he would put it like a rock or something, you know, in front of the foot and some tall grass to cover it up. I can't think. The guy who did Deadpool, McFarlane. Yeah, you know, he wasn't a good foot drawer, and you can see. Just go back and look at some of his old stuff, and you'll see how he would like cover up his weakness, which is, you know, I ain't mad because I couldn't do scaffolding. I couldn't do, you know, building. I couldn't do a Spider-Man book, and he's like in New York, and he's running webbing, swinging through old scaffold buildings, because that kind of perspective, I'm not gonna say beyond me. It's just, yeah, it's just something I don't want to think about yet. But you're gonna have to do it eventually, especially if you're doing comics. You're gonna have to do those things that you don't want to do, or you don't like to do, or you're just weak at doing, because yeah, you're gonna have to do it. So that's going to be it for this actual position. Yeah. And then I don't know what I'm going to do to the body, but I don't know. It might be one of my characters. I don't know. I said I was going to get all my characters together and do one poster for my universe, because I've made a lot of characters, but just a lot of them I haven't really done anything with. There were ideas for books, and you know, they were going to appear in other books, but I haven't done it, so it's about time I get them all together. So I have my Brian universe of characters, so when I jump back on my books, I can have these guys do guest appearances. So that's going to be it for this video. Faces, I said I'm going to work on a face tutorial to show you the measuring of the face, just the same way I did the torso, so that you will get the face right every time. So no more rambling. I like what I'm seeing so far, and I will call this one a video because it's probably 40 minutes. Too long. I'm trying to get 20-minute videos, 30-minute videos. All right, so no more rambling. Subscribe, leave a comment, and I'll see you guys later. Keep drawing. Send me some of your stuff. You know my email is right here. Send me some of your stuff. Let me see what you're doing. All right, later.